The lawyer's office smelled like leather and old money. 9:32 a.m. on a Monday morning, and my two sisters sat across from me, their faces the color of printer paper. "I'm sorry," the estate attorney said, sliding a document across the mahogany table. "But according to your mother's final will, revised 6 weeks before her death, the entire $12 million estate goes to..." She looked directly at me. "To you. Everything." My oldest sister's coffee cup hit the floor. The sound of porcelain shattering was the most honest thing I'd heard from my family in 3 years. But the worst part wasn't their shock. It was what I had to do to get there. Let me take you back. 3 years earlier, I was the middle daughter in what everyone called the perfect family. Mom had built a pharmaceutical consulting empire from nothing. My sisters, Penelope, the corporate lawyer, and Genevieve, the surgeon, were her golden children. I was disappointed, the social worker who chose a nonprofit salary over a corner office. "Still playing with poor people?" Penelope said at Sunday dinner, swirling her wine. Mom's dining room always smelled like jasmine candles and judgment. "I'm helping families navigate the foster care system," I said quietly. "Such important work," Genevieve added, her voice dripping with condescension. "Someone has to do the lesser jobs." Mom said nothing. She never did. Just cut her filet mignon into precise pieces, like she was dissecting our family dynamic with surgical precision. But here's what I didn't know yet. They were already planning. 3 specific things I discovered later. 1. Penelope had drafted a new will for Mom to sign. 2. Genevieve had scheduled memory tests with a neurologist she golfed with. 3. They'd both started documenting my concerning behavior in a shared Google Doc I was about to become a ghost in my own family. The first real crack appeared on a Wednesday afternoon. I was having coffee with my friend Mina, a paralegal who'd known me since college. "Your sister came into our firm yesterday," she said, stirring her latte nervously. "She was asking about having someone declared psychologically unfit. She didn't mention names, but..." My throat tightened. "But what?" "She asked specifically about adult daughters with unstable career patterns and possible personality disorders. Those were her exact words." I set down my cup before my shaking hands could betray me. "That's not real. That can't be real." "There's more." Mina pulled out her phone, fingers hovering over the screen. "I could lose my job for this, but you need to see something." The email thread she showed me was dated 2 months back. Penelope to Genevieve. "Mom's getting sentimental about the charity daughter. We need to act fast. Dr. Brightman agreed to conduct the evaluation. Make sure she doesn't suspect." The coffee shop suddenly felt airless. That night, I started my own documentation. Every conversation is recorded on my phone. Every email is saved. Every Sunday dinner was observed like I was studying a hostile foreign culture. 4 months of evidence gathering led to a 17-page document. Times, dates, witnesses. Their plan was elegant, really. Get Mom to believe I was mentally unstable, estranged by my own choices, dead to her in every way except legally. Then swoop in for the inheritance. But then Mom got sick. Pancreatic cancer, stage 4. The doctor gave her 6 months. She made it 7 through sheer stubbornness. I found out from her housekeeper, Rosalind, not from my sisters. "They told your mother you didn't want to visit," Rosalind whispered when I showed up at the house. "They said you called her a burden on your social work schedule. She cried for 2 days." My mother's bedroom smelled like antiseptic and lavender. She looked so small in that California king bed. A woman who'd once commanded boardrooms, now drowning in Egyptian cotton sheets. "Mom," I said from the doorway. She turned her head away. "Penelope said you'd try this." coming around now that there's money involved. What? Mom, I've been calling every day for 3 weeks. Your sisters warned me you'd lie. Her voice was papery thin. They showed me the emails. What emails? The ones where you called me a narcissist, said you were done with this family. The floor tilted. I never wrote those. Mom, please. Get out! Her heart monitor spiked. You're dead to me. Do you understand? Dead to me. Penelope appeared in the hallway like she'd been waiting in the wings. You're upsetting her. I think it's time you left. Permanently. That's when I knew. They'd won. Or they thought they had. I sat in my car in Mom's circular driveway for 47 minutes, hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. Rain started falling, one of those sudden Southern California storms that feels like the sky is crying. My phone rang. Unknown number. Is this regarding Mrs. Whitmore? A woman's voice, professional but warm. Who is this? My name is Dr. Beverly Chu. I'm a hospice care specialist. Your mother's housekeeper gave me your number. She's concerned about some things she's witnessed. We met at a coffee shop in Pasadena an hour later. Dr. Chu was 60-something, with gray hair in a practical bun and eyes that had seen too many families destroy themselves. Rosalind contacted me directly, she said. Not through your sisters. That's unusual. She claims your mother is being kept from you deliberately, and that certain medications are being administered incorrectly. What do you mean, incorrectly? Anti-anxiety medications at dosages that would cause confusion, memory problems, suggestibility. She slid a folder across the table. I pulled your mother's pharmaceutical records. I'm not supposed to have these, but there are patterns here that concern me deeply. Inside, 3 months of prescriptions, Penelope's signature as medical power of attorney on every single one. There's something else, Dr. Chu said. I've seen this dynamic before. Twice, actually. Once in Connecticut, once in Arizona. Family members isolating a parent, controlling their medical decisions, manufacturing estrangement. What happened in those cases? One ended in court. The other, she looked at her coffee. The daughter never got to say goodbye. The parent died believing she'd abandoned them. I felt something crystallize inside me. Not quite hope, more like cold, clear determination. How much time do I have? With her prognosis, maybe 6 weeks. Then that's how long I have to prove the truth. I became a detective in my own life. Nina helped me file for medical access rights through an emergency petition. We had to prove good cause, so I presented my 17-page document to a judge who looked like she'd rather be anywhere else. These are serious allegations, Judge Rodriguez said, flipping through exhibits. You're claiming your sisters forged emails? I'm claiming they fabricated an entire estrangement. I have phone records showing 247 attempted calls to my mother's number over 3 months. 0 connections. I have my phone carrier's records proving it. And the emails your mother supposedly received? Nina stepped forward. Your Honor, we had a forensic IT specialist examine the metadata. The emails originated from an IP address registered to Penelope Whitmore's law firm. They were sent to their mother's email, but the reply-to address was altered to bounce back to a dummy account. The judge's eyebrows rose. That's elaborate. There's more, I said. Rosalind kept a journal, 4 months of observations. Times when my sisters told their mother I'd called and said horrible things. Corroborated with phone records showing I never called. Medications administered without Dr. Chu's approval. Visitors turned away at the door. The judge granted emergency access. 24 hours later, I was back in my mother's house. This time with a court order and a very surprised Genevieve blocking the hallway. "You can't be here," she hissed. Judge Rodriguez disagrees. I held up the paperwork. "I have a right to see her. You can call Penelope and her fancy lawyers, but this is happening." Mom's bedroom looked different in the afternoon light. Or maybe I was different. She was awake, staring at the ceiling, an oxygen tube in her nose. "Mom," I said softly, "I know you don't want to see me, but I need 10 minutes. If after that you want me gone, I'll go. Forever, I promise." Silence. Then 5 minutes. I pulled up a chair, my legs shaking. 3 years ago, you told me you were proud of my work. Do you remember? After I helped reunify that family in Lancaster? You said, money isn't everything. You chose meaning. A flicker in her eyes. Maybe memory. Maybe morphine. Penelope and Genevieve showed you emails where I supposedly called you terrible things. I need you to look at something. I opened my laptop, turned it toward her. This is my actual email account. These are my sent messages. Every single one of you is asking how you're doing, telling you I love you, begging to visit. She squinted at the screen. Now look at this. I opened the forensic report. These are the emails they showed you. Different IP address, different metadata. They were written on Penelope's work computer and made to look like they came from me. Why would they... Her voice cracked. $12 million, Mom. Your estate. They wanted to make sure I was written out completely. Dead to you were Penelope's exact words in her text to Genevieve. I have that too. I showed her everything. The Google Doc where they documented my supposed instability. The medication records showing dosages designed to confuse her. Rosalind's journal entries, phone records, all of it. Tears rolled down her cheeks, catching in the oxygen tube. "My babies," she whispered. "I raised them to be... I thought... You raised them in a world that values money over people. I don't blame you for that." I took her hand, so fragile now, like bird bones. "But I need you to know, I never stopped loving you. Not for one single day." She squeezed my fingers with what little strength she had left. "I need to fix this," she said. 2 weeks later, Penelope and Genevieve arrived for their usual Sunday visit to find a room full of people. Mom's new estate attorney, Rosalind, Dr. Chu, and me. Penelope's mask slipped for just a second. "What is this?" "Sit down," Mom said. Her voice was stronger. We'd adjusted her medications to proper dosages. "Both of you." The new attorney, a woman named Yuki Tanaka, who specialized in elder abuse cases, opened a leather portfolio. "Mrs. Whitmore has asked me to present certain findings," she said. "Over the past 2 weeks, we've conducted a thorough investigation into the management of her medical care, communications, and estate planning." She laid out documents like playing cards. Forged emails, manipulation of medical records, fraudulent representation of familial estrangement, undue influence on estate documents drafted while the client was on medication dosages specifically calibrated to impair judgment. Genevieve stood up. "This is ridiculous. We're leaving." "Sit down." Mom's voice cracked like a whip. "You will listen to every word." Attorney Tanaka continued. "We have evidence of 17 distinct instances of elder abuse, fraud, and conspiracy. The previous will, drafted 6 months ago, was signed while Mrs. Whitmore was on medication combinations that would legally constitute incapacitation. That will is void." "You can't prove any of this," Penelope said, but her voice wavered. Actually, I said, speaking for the first time, we can. Your Google Doc titled Operation Inheritance? You forgot to stop sharing it with your paralegal. Nina kept detailed screenshots before you realized and deleted it. Penelope's face went white. The forged emails? I continued. Forensic metadata, your law firm's IP address, the medication manipulation? Dr. Chu has documentation and a very disturbing timeline. The fake phone calls you told Mom I made? Phone company records prove otherwise. Mom took a shaky breath. Here's what's going to happen. You have two choices. 1. Leave quietly. Contest nothing. Accept that you will receive nothing from my estate. Or 2. I file formal charges for elder abuse, fraud, and conspiracy. Your careers end. Publicly. Silence filled the room like poison gas. You can't, Genevieve started. I already have a new will, Mom said. Drafted by attorney Tanaka. Witnessed by Dr. Chu and 2 independent notaries. Every penny goes to the daughter who actually loved me. The one you tried to erase. Penelope's hands were fists on the table. After everything we've done for you. Done to me, Mom corrected. You have until 5 p.m. to decide. The paperwork for option 2 is already prepared. They left at 4:47 p.m. No goodbye, no apology, just the sound of expensive heels on marble and the front door closing with terrible finality. Mom died 6 weeks later, on a Sunday morning. I was holding her hand. Her last words were, "You were always enough. I'm sorry it took me so long to remember that." The funeral was small. Penelope and Genevieve didn't come. Now, sitting in Attorney Tanaka's office with that shattered coffee cup on the floor, I watched my sisters process reality. The entire estate, $12 million, the house, the investment portfolios, everything. This is illegal, Penelope finally said. We'll contest it. Attorney Tanaka smiled, a sharp professional smile. Please do. I have 4 banker's boxes of evidence documenting your fraud, elder abuse, and conspiracy. I also have 3 journalists very interested in the story of 2 successful professionals who gaslit their dying mother for money. Your choice. They left without another word. 6 months after that, I established the Whitmore Foundation, dedicated to protecting vulnerable elderly individuals from family exploitation. We've helped 127 people so far. Every single case feels like honoring Mom's memory the way she wanted to be honored, by choosing meaning over money. Mina runs our legal department. Dr. Chu heads our medical advocacy division. Rosalind is on our board of directors. I think about Penelope and Genevieve sometimes. Wonder if they ever realize what they lost. Not the money, though I'm sure that stings. But the chance to simply love someone without conditions. To be present at the end. To say goodbye. They convinced Mom I was dead to her. Instead, they became dead to themselves. And me? I'm using every penny of that $12 million to make sure no one else has to prove their love with a forensic investigation. Mom would be proud. I hope so.